I think today's Sims update might just make today the best day of my life. I realize I've got a bit of a problem with being too dramatic, but we're getting ceiling paint. We've been wanting this for years. I feel like I've been begging for the ability to paint ceiling tiles for so long, and it's actually finally coming to the game. And it seems like this update's actually gonna have a couple other little details. Usually the base game updates before expansion packs are quite big. Pretty much every expansion pack we get some sort of cool new build feature in the base game. So in this case, the ceiling paint. In the past, it's been things like platforms and stuff like that. But then we also usually get some other random things, maybe some new swatches, maybe some new hairstyles. And in this case, I think we're getting both. They teased some new floor tile swatches in the live stream last week and some new hairstyles. The updates usually drop at 1 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesdays, which is exactly right now as I'm recording this. The thing is, they never actually said there was gonna be an update today. I'm just sort of assuming. It took me about 6 minutes of refreshing the app for it to show up, but it did. It's downloading right now and it's big. It's like 2.82 gigabytes. The patch notes are most definitely not gonna be out for a while, so we're kind of on our own here in the beginning when it comes to trying to figure out what's actually in the update. We're gonna have to come back to the cast stuff because I am going straight to build mode. So there's a new ceiling tile paint feature. Oh, look at this. Okay, so you can paint ceilings by tile or by room. And when I do that, it opens the ceiling so I can see it. And you can use any floor tile on the ceiling by the room, or you can paint it by tile yourself. So you can make like a pattern. Let's do a horrible carpet. Okay, how about that? And then if I go into live mode and I go into tab so I can see the camera, I should, I can see the ceiling paint. That's like actually disgusting. Wow, okay. That is really quite something. And you can do any of them? Any floor tile can be used on the ceiling. This is the best day of my life. I know I sound so dramatic. Okay, wait, you can go in tab mode in build mode. Oh my God, I forgot about that. This might be like kind of a niche thing. I don't know how many of you use the tab cameraman mode very often, but if you press tab, it gets rid of the UI and you can kind of zoom around and readjust angles. It's really nice for taking screenshots, especially when you're taking screenshots of the builds you've made. Maybe you want a better angle of your sim, of them getting engaged or something. But I use this all the time. I go into tab mode to take screenshots all the time, and the tab mode thing is sort of where the ceiling paint becomes a problem. I can show you an example maybe in one of the cabins in Outdoor Retreat. So out here in Granite Falls, all these cabins are very wooden, right? It's cute. It's a nice wooden cabin, but the underside of this ceiling is just stark white. And this really is annoying and kind of takes you out of it when you're trying to like build these old wooden houses and stuff, especially if you're getting a screenshot from like all the way down here. The white looks terrible, but now with this new update, we can paint that ceiling. So if I go into tab mode, the underside is actually wooden. Look at how much better that looks. I know it's a small thing. I realize that not everybody is gonna care about this like I care about this, but I've been waiting for this moment. I will say that the underside of the roof is still a problem. This has also always been a problem, but the ceiling tiles themselves are a good start. This is so cool. It makes such a big difference from the interior, and I'm quite impressed by how this looks. When you go into like the paint by ceiling thing, it takes you up so you can see the walls. I like how you can see the lights too. This is actually really interesting because you could try and do a special tile maybe where the light is and then wood everywhere else. I'd have to experiment with that a little bit more, but that kind of thing happens in real life. I mean, something like this, like kind of trying to mimic these ceiling medallions. I don't know. We'll have to mess around. There's a lot of ideas and it's brand new, so I haven't really played around with it yet, but I'm really excited about that. And then the other thing is there's a bunch of new swatches as well. We're in a better position today to go through these things than I normally am because I actually got to play with this update for like a week when I had early access to the horse pack. They basically gave me a second version of The Sims where I had just the base game, the new update, and horses. And so because I had the new update, I could kind of mess around and look for stuff a little. But look at this, a bunch of the default base game floor tiles have new swatches. So like this one usually only had this one swatch, and they went in and made new swatches on a whole bunch of these new base game floor tiles. They kind of have like the same colorways. There's like a brown, white, black, and red to all of them. But look at this. All of these previously only had one swatch and we got 4 more to each of them. I don't even know how many they did. Even this one, this is like my favorite floor in the whole game. I'm so glad they did this. It's amazing how much of a difference a couple extra swatches can make. Oh my God, look, they did like all of these base game tiles. Every single one of these only had one swatch before. I really like this one, this light gray. gray? Am I imagining this, or did some of these woods get new swatches too? I swear this is a new red tone. This one only had one swatch. Oh my god, this entire time, this floor only had one wood swatch, and they added a whole bunch more to it. I think it looks like they went in and added the same colorways. Oh, this one only had one swatch before too. I used to never use this floor because I hated this orange color, and it's got all these new swatches now. I can actually use that floor. I love when they do swatch updates. This makes such a big difference. Like going back and adding even just like a couple colors to a base game thing. Like this tile that only had the one swatch before, now that we have this new all gray swatch, that completely changes everything. Like you can use this everywhere. This new black one as well. Like this is gonna come in so handy. There's actually probably more new wood swatches than this, but I'm too overwhelmed. I don't, oh, this one. This only had one swatch before too. Look at that. Huh. And I think that there's some new wallpapers as well. Wait, a new door. Simple single panel door ranch. And it's only 40 simoleons. It's cheap. We need that. This is gonna come in so handy for rags to riches. Oh, it's like sort of rustic wood tones, isn't it? Oh, but it has a plain one too. What's the difference? I guess this one only has a handful of swatches. This one has more swatches, is a little bit more wooden, and it's cheaper. Hey, I will take that. I'm not complaining. Bear with me as I try and dig through these wallpapers, but one thing I did notice is this above deck wallpaper got some more swatches. This is one of my favorite wallpapers in the entire game. It's just like some simple paneling with paint above, but it's got a handful of new colors. There's a new gray, there's kind of some sagey greens, there's this pinky color, there's a couple new beige colors as well. And I think they went in and added those swatches to all the, ooh. Oh, I didn't even notice that one. But I think they went in and added these swatches to all of those wallpapers that match. So this Desert Skies one, this Essence of Pastel one. I think that they updated this wallpaper as well to have some new brick swatches. And then it looks like they also updated this one to have all the exact matching colors to it. I'll come back to this when the patch notes actually drop and we get a real list, because I also know that we got a few new hairstyles. Oh, we also got new eyebrows. There's a lot of new eyebrows. Wait a minute. There's nine new eyebrows. These are nice too. Oh, those are a lot better than the default ones that we have, aren't they? It makes such a big difference to have like slightly better 2023 textures on these things. I really like those. But the hairstyles I'm talking about are these three. So we have this new longer hairstyle. It's like long straight hair. We also have this longer braid and a ponytail, and these two braids. So we got 3 new hairs in the base game that are all more Native American inspired. The new pack, the Horse Ranch pack, has some Native American inspiration in it. So it looks like they made some hairs for that and then gave them to everyone. They're also all really nice. Like all 3 of these look really good. Oh, here we go. The patch notes are actually out now, so we can see what really came in the update. I'm gonna, of course, link this down below for you if you want to read the patch notes for yourselves, but I'm gonna go through and point out some of the major things that stand out to me. Those horses will be coming around the mountain in just a few days. To get ready for their arrival in the Sims 4 Horse Ranch expansion pack, we have rounded up a number of exciting base game updates and bug fixes to share with you. They're mentioning the 3 hairs that we found and the new brows that we found, but there's also a large selection of eye presets. I wish it was easier to tell which of the eye presets were new, because they didn't say, and there's so many now that I have a hard time distinguishing which ones are the new ones. But there's also 3 new under eye bags in the eye details category. Oh my gosh, look at that. They've been doing a way better job of adding more skin details recently in updates. I feel like we've gotten a lot of them in the past year or so. I wish they had pictures in these patch notes because sometimes it's hard to find, but it looks like there's also a new recipe. You can cook the 3 sisters chili on the grill. In Native American tradition, the 3 sisters are corn, beans, and squash. They grow best together in the same plot. The eldest sister, corn, provides a strong foundation for the beans to climb. The beans enrich the soil with nitrogen, and the youngest sister, squash, covers the ground, protecting all their roots. We'll check on that in game in a second, but it looks like in cast they also reorganized the traits, so they put them all into different categories. Oh my, this is gonna throw me off. It's gonna take me some getting used to, I think, to find some of these. Obviously, in build mode, we've got the ceiling paint update, so we can now apply colors and patterns to the ceilings. We can enter free camera in build mode. There's a number of wall, floor, fence, and door patterns. Okay, this is the full list of all the different items that got new swatches. I think we saw most of these walls and floors. I didn't notice the fence. Sometimes they do these swatch updates and then don't tell you where all the new swatches are, so it kind of just takes us experimenting to find them. So I am very glad they actually told us this time. I think that this, ooh, oh my gosh. Yeah, look at this. This base game fence has like a bajillion new swatches. Oh, look at that. I assume they were probably adding this for the ranch stuff and then just gave it to everybody because it's a base game fence. But there's a lot of wood swatches on this now. I'm so glad they did this. Sims team, seriously, thank you. Swatch updates are so huge. It seems like a small thing to have some more fence swatches and like a couple new wallpaper ones, but genuinely, these base game swatch updates make such a big difference. I love when they do this. Going back and refreshing some of the base game stuff really goes far, especially because a lot of these things we've had for so long, and there's a lot of like, I don't know, 2014 vibes on some of the colorways that we have. So it's just nice to get some new ones, especially on things like this fence that previously only had like 4 swatches. I'm honestly not even sure if this fence had a black swatch before. It only had a couple. And again, I'm gonna link this down below in case you want to go search for yourselves and look up every single one of these items. It looks like there's also quite a few bug fixes. Look at this. Sims now more consistently wash hands in the sink closest to the toilet. It just says more consistently because they probably still do bad things sometimes, but that's nice. In build mode, stacking curved walls on top of each other will no longer create gaps in the ceiling of the lower room. The curved walls are so buggy, it's so hard to use them, so I'm glad they're fixing that. They've got a long way to go, but you know, baby steps, every little bit helps. Yeah, curved walls no longer cause seam lines to appear on terrain. Stair railings have been added to multiple pre-built homes. Safety prevails. Did some of the pre-built homes not have stair railings? Huh, I don't know, maybe. There's always a lot of little things in these patch notes that aren't always worth reading out loud, so I apologize for skipping over some. And sometimes they don't give me details. Fixed pricing for a few pack items in wedding stories. Which pack items? I wanna know. Did you make it more expensive? Is it cheaper? That kind of thing is important. Anyway, like I said, I'll link this down below for you, but now I wanna go back into game and check out that Three Sisters chili recipe. The Sims has been doing a lot of these food updates recently over the past couple years, and I really think that it makes a huge difference. There's something really special about getting to have more cultural foods in the game. It seems like a small thing because it's just one more recipe, but genuinely, I love this so much. I love how they teach you about it as well. If you're anything like me, a lot of us have been playing The Sims since we were actual children, and I have these memories from when I was a kid of learning about foods for the first time in like The Sims 3. I genuinely thought that goopy carbonara was like fake. I didn't know that carbonara was a real food because it had like the word goopy in front of it in The Sims. So I had no idea it was a real thing until I got older and then encountered it in real life. Lobster thermidor I also thought was fake when I was a kid, and then I learned that it's not. But for that reason, and obviously these foods aren't fake, they're like real life meals, but I think that them including this little text box about them, it benefits everybody. It's great for people to have access to foods that they eat in real life in the game, but it's also great to teach people about it that maybe wouldn't have experienced it otherwise. Some of the stuff that you cook on the grill is actually quite expensive, isn't it? 48 simoleons for sausage and peppers. Come on, Stanley, we got some testing to do. And the other thing is that the foods they've been making recently are so much better than the old stuff we used to have. Like some of the original foods from when the game first came out are so ugly. They have really stepped up their game as far as textures go on food. It's still not the most like high quality texture, right? But like it looks so much better. You've all seen like the garden salad from the base game is terrible looking. This looks beautiful. It looks good. Like you'd want to eat it. But I think that is everything in today's base game update. I'm sure I might have missed some bug fixes, but I think we've got all of the new stuff covered. So on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. Let me know, how excited are you about ceiling painting? Because I can think of so many things I want to build now with this. I almost want to go back and fix a lot of my old builds now that we have the ceiling paint. And hey, the horse pack comes out in a couple days on Thursday. And maybe tomorrow you want to be here on my YouTube channel because maybe there'll be a video that you might want to watch. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. Oh, and speaking of horses, I'm gonna be streaming with horses so much this week on my Twitch channel. My name's just lilsimsie there. I can't do it today, but you know, after today, we can start playing with horses.